Hey guys.
Hey everyone, welcome to another Jagged Alliance free dev stream live from the Haemimont Games studio here in Sofia, Bulgaria. It's a pleasure to be back. Today we're gonna have a very interesting conversation with one of you guys from the modding scene. I'm your host, Pavel, producer at Haemimont Games for Jagged Alliance free, and...
I'm Lubo and I'm a designer on the project, and as always I'm happy to be here.
And also, don't forget the actual player of the Devs Play streams that we're going to have a little bit later that you creatively called Happy Little Accidents. Because what? They're not mistakes. They're happy little accidents, you know? It just happened.
Yeah.
So, we're going to have a very interesting first hour of the stream here where we're going to have Archimedes, or... you probably don't know him. His name is actually David, and you're going to learn a little bit more about him, how he got into modding, what he has in his history with Jagged Alliance free, and of course, how he feels about some of the upcoming features with his mods. So it's going to be interesting. Stick around. A little bit more about the other mods that he's done. Evermine is something that probably a lot of you know, Multi-IMP, and the list goes on there. So you can ask him some other questions when we invite him. But first, we should go over some announcements and some news. So first off, the hotfix 1.21 launched this Monday, fixing a little bit of the things that... you should say, had unexpected features with 1.20. So it's a little bit better now. And Lubo's going to play with 1.21 after the interview we have. So, yeah. All right. So what else? If you guys are not following us on one of the preferred channels that you have, go ahead and do so. It makes it easier for us to communicate when we go live and when we have any news to share. So I didn't do the actual sound check. Are you guys hearing us okay? Are you seeing us okay? Everything all right with the stream? Probably yes. All right. So, without further ado, let's invite David over and we can actually get to know a little bit more about his history with Jagged Alliance free.
Yeah.
And there we go.
Hey
David,
guys.
can you hear us?
Yeah, David.
Yeah, can you hear you good?
Oh,
can
yeah.
hear you well?
Definitely.
I hope that that counts for me too. So can you hear me good?
Yes.
See me good?
Yeah.
All good? Fine. Great.
Everything is awesome.
Thanks for inviting me.
You're welcome. I can tell the story with actually when the guys here said maybe it's time that we start inviting streamers on, not streamers on, sorry, modders on. I was like, oh, I know the guy because I told you when we had the preliminary talk of you joining the stream is that there are several things that we want to showcase, and first of all is that it's not your first mod. Apparently, it's not your first modding effort that you've done. You have probably the most asset intensive mod that's out there, which is the Tons of Guns one that we're going to share later on. And of course we want to talk a little bit more about our position with modding in general, because we'd like to think of ourselves as a modding friendly studio. But first, before we get into all of that, tell us a little bit more about yourself, who you are besides of the Discord's, handle that you have.
One second. There's always one thing you forget. Close the window. Yeah. I just had it open for 2 minutes and forgot to close. So, my name's David. I'm 36. I'm from Germany and proud father of a boy. So, nice. Among other things, I'm a programmer and a photographer, and I have a background in fintech and e-commerce. So, currently, I'm mainly educating my son, which is amazing for me, so I can spend a lot of time. We just went out today for a couple of hours just to have some fun. Yeah. And my other main activity is, to be honest, right now, modding Jagged Alliance 3. Yeah,
that's
totally.
awesome to hear. And you mentioning being a photographer, having interest in photography, explains a little bit more about, all of the photo modes that you've used for some of your mods. So
Yeah, I absolutely love these, especially the new photo modes, the functions that you added. The depth of field, the focus depth, and everything allows to have a nice bokeh, like in real photography with glass intense photography. So I absolutely love it. You would have to post process these pictures to get these effects, and that's why it's so amazing that you included it.
Awesome. I'm going to tell, like, we probably have one or two programmers that are really doing that specific feature. So they're going to hear about the fact that, the community really likes it. So, yeah, tell us, like, this probably isn't your first Jagged Alliance game, judging by all of the memorabilia that you have in the background there that you showed us before the stream.
Yeah, to be honest, usually I don't have this altair like set up behind me. That's just for the stream
But
to
they've been
show
waiting for
I
this
got
spotlight for so many years, probably.
Yeah. I can't have it out because of the sun. So in 10 years it will all be bleached out. So it's sitting in a closet. Yeah, sadly sitting in a closet, waiting to collect dust.
Waiting for this moment. So what was your first interaction with the Jagged Alliance series?
Oh, that's actually funny. I had to buy a birthday present for a friend of mine. We still were in elementary school, so we were very young, basically too young to buy Jagged Alliance, and but it came out in a budget magazine, and you could just buy it on the kiosk and say, I take this magazine, and no one would care. Like, if you go to the store, they see, oh, it's a kid, and there's this little mark on it, red, says 18 plus or 16 plus. They don't give it to you because they get in trouble, but on a local kiosk, they just give it to you.
They don't care about the ESRB or PEGI or whatever.
So I just bought it for him as a birthday present, and we turned out later. I said I was the last to stay, and we played the game until late this day, and that's how it began. So I knew, okay, when I go home tomorrow, I gotta get this magazine too. Yeah.
Awesome. So how did it feel so many years later, seeing after the second part?
Absolutely astonishing. I was very skeptic, to be honest. I was so skeptic because in Germany we say burned child. Like you get your fingers burned once and then you don't trust.
Really
so
reluctant.
yeah, exactly. I didn't want to put my heart in it. Like let's see if it's just another bullshit title or if it's a real thing. And the closer we got to a release date, the more I realized, okay, this is not bullshit. This is the real thing, worth waiting for. And they finally did it. Someone pulled it off. And yeah, I was very happy. And then my own activity, I was skeptic. I stayed away on distance to not get attached to the whole thing. And then it's a bullshit game and I'm already attached. And then that would be weird. Yeah. So then close to release date, I knew it would be good, and then my own activity to get even before into modding before release date started. So yeah, I got really interested.
I really like that. So many people were really skeptical. That made us very nervous before launch because we were like, are people gonna like it?
Apparently we didn't F it up, right?
Yeah. Oh, that stuck way longer than I hoped it would stick, that quote. So yeah, I'm gonna be very I can't promise that I'm gonna be so much more careful than saying things like that, but who knows. All right, so I know that this isn't also your first game that you've modded. Like, tell us a little bit more about when you started trying mod games.
Oh, yeah, it's hard to say when it began because I know I was always fiddling with game archives and files and INI files and configs and whatnot just to see what can you do if you change one value, what happens. So restart game, change value, restart game, and that's how the whole process started. Very early on, I think, probably close to I don't know 2001 or so, but. The first real activity I remember that I myself perceived as modding was in 2008 with the release of Fallout 3.
Ooh, okay.
Because I was stuck on a specific generation of graphics card at that time. I was still a very young man, and I just had this graphics card and I couldn't get a new one, and it just could support Pixel Shaders 2.0. And Fallout 3 needed 2.1b or something like that. Otherwise, it would just outright refuse to run. It would not run. I think later on they released a patch and got this working, but when it came out, it just wouldn't work. Please get Pixel Shader 2.1b graphics card or something like that popped up. So I got into some.
Just change it in the values.
Yeah. How about I just look into what these shaders do and why they don't work? So I don't think I even knew what shaders really were. So, but that didn't matter a lot. I knew I had to fix them to get the game running. So I was looking into all these shaders in hex code and whatnot. I didn't know how to open them properly, and. Eventually, I started writing stuff on paper sheets and all of that, like a madman with his board. And
I think I have that meme
you know
somewhere
what I mean?
here on the computer.
Yeah, exactly like this one. And I got it working so far that I could play the game without heads. So no one would have a head. And I could play. Okay, I would take this very sad state of a game for a couple of months before I would get a new graphics card to finally see heads and faces. Yeah. But I was kind of happy that I got it working. It just wasn't that much fun to play without heads.
No headshots. No headshots.
No headshot. The funny thing is, the headshots worked, and then the head exploded, and that was visible. That doesn't seem to require Pixel Shader 2.1b or whatever it was.
Like, kids blowing a particle is okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's probably something with the hair. I know the hair is a nightmare. Imagine 2008
Oh,
hair.
that could be. Yeah, that could be. Yeah. I think it was one of the first games that had some sort of hair shader stuff. Yeah. Exactly. Could be. Yeah. So that was 2008. I didn't release anything. That was just for my own purpose. And I wouldn't think of releasing it because I wouldn't see that I wouldn't think that someone would need it beside me. Everyone else would probably just get a new graphics card, right? So a couple of years later, I started modding some manager games and some stuff just to always do the stuff that's in my eyes is missing or that I could improve, like a soccer manager game that has flat grass pitch, like that's looking horrible in 3D Reef. So I spent like 2 months to get override some shaders and stuff and get this grass to really pop up in this game. So, but I also didn't release that one. So a little bit later, then there came Fallout 4, and no, actually, before Fallout 4 there was Armored Assault 2, Armor 2. Yeah, it's a military simulator, I guess.
Oh, we have a couple of guys that play it here in the studio.
Yeah. I also know a lot of people that dumped thousands of hours into this, including myself. I'm a victim of it.
I think that it's one of those games where you either have no hours or you have hundreds of hours in it.
Yeah. It's like you give up very early on because it's so devastating on your moral. Like it doesn't allow you to do one mistake, and even if you don't know mistakes, sometimes you break a leg while going through a door. Right? So then came Armored Assault. That was also in the beginning just for me because the game wouldn't run really well on my PC. But I knew from a performance level, my PC would, in theory, be able to handle it. So there was something wrong. Okay, let's fix it. So I got into all this configs and inis and what I learned as a teenager already, and went through it all, and I found out that there was a bugged preset. So if you would set a certain preset like normal or high graphics, very high graphics, it would change, let's say, view distance for 3 different categories: objects, characters, and world, let's say.
Yeah.
So, but when you then go down to the view distance, it will only change one of these values back to the lower one, and the other ones will be stuck at a higher one, and that can never be fixed unless you rewrite the entry in the config file. So that was a terrible bug, but once I fixed it, I had like 100% plus FPS. So that was fine, and then I released it because I thought, okay, I guess a lot of people, because there was a lot of complaints at that time about stuttering, FPS freezes, low FPS and all that. So I released it, and it didn't gain a lot of popularity, but that wasn't bad at all, because it was just a small little fix to increase the FPS on specific systems that needed it. Because at the time Arma 2 was released, basically almost every system was already developed beyond the engine, so to say. That was Arma 2, and then came Fallout 4, and that was my first real release of a mod that I published on Nexus Mods. I put it out there, maintained it for like, I don't know, a month or 2 or something like that, and then I lost interest in the game. And just to close the circle, just shortly before Jagged Alliance 3 release, I would come back to Nexus and look at it and see, wow, there's like 20,000 unique downloads on this.
Oh, wow.
I never thought that would happen when I just put it out there. And then I thought, what maybe could have happened if I maintained it, if I improved it, or if I did some other mods. So that's when the idea started. Okay, Jagged Alliance 3 is coming out. They want to do mod support. Let's get into this.
But let's be honest, you started modding the game way before we released the modding tools.
Yeah.
way before. But that wasn't. I mean that is also due to my own enthusiasm, but that is I owe that to other people. Yeah, that are also very enthusiastic and were willing to share their findings. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see that every day that the people in the modding community are really active with new discussions, like new things that they want to create or tweak, and they hit some kind of wall that they don't know how to do. Maybe thing X, and then they just go on the Discord channel, and it's very often that you see other modders helping them out before actually someone from the studio, which is, again, it's amazing from our point of view, because it means that, you know, people that are enthusiastic like you help other people who are enthusiastic like you. And I know,
it's
you mentioned,
like each one teach one, right?
Yeah. Like you mentioned, like there are a lot of active people there. Actually, we have something that we wanted to do for one of the people in the community for a while now. That is kind of like really improvised, but we want to do it. It's we learned that Aldaki, or Kira, is having some health issues, and that's why she's not around in the community anymore. So we just wanted to say something from the studio, and maybe Lubo, you can change to the and I can show you something from us.
Paul will be posting it recently. So let's talk about your you're working on the Tons of Guns mod right now. Is that right?
Currently I have prepared an update of 3 weapons. The Enfield, the Bren MK1 and the Tokarev TT33. I think I will maybe add like 1 or 2 weapons to the update for this weekend. And actually I'm looking for new models at the moment. There's a couple of sales going on, and that's why I'm looking around for new models to acquire for Tons of Guns. Yeah.
Am I correct in thinking that you guys spent your own money to buy some of the models, or am I wrong?
I didn't spend my own money on it. Ablomis was the first one to just stand up and say, let's stop the talk. I just buy this package that you have posted here. And then he gave it to me, and we transferred the license into the Zulip project. So actually, no, I didn't buy models with my own money. That is all crowdfunded. Yeah.
Yeah, but still, it's community money, so
it's community money, right?
Yeah.
This was awesome. Like I didn't notice that for a while, and then I saw like in the Discord channel that you had a target of around what was it, 150 euro, and went as far as 400 something, which all went into guns, which is nuts, but it's amazing at the same time. Because people want the gun. We didn't launch with a few guns. We had like 40 guns in the game. Yeah. So it's awesome that people, want to invest more in making community assets. Because I know that there's a lot of mods that focus on systems and tweaking, how different features work, but also introducing new art is also something that adds a lot to the game. So
like the Merc mods, the voiced ones. That's also incredible work intense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I know that's also so much work, and it's not very easy with some of our tools, specifically for animated models. But I still see a lot of people going at it and just trying to make their optimum Merc be in the game, which is
I love that.
Make me happy.
It's just it's just like some most of the time it's just MERC came back and is throwing all this weird guys and girls on the market. Like it's just some curiosities, some are cool, and some are just outright weird. So I love it. Yeah.
I need to ask, anyone did Chuck Norris already?
I don't think so.
No, actually,
no.
I think I've seen at least 3 different action movie stars, so it would be weird if we don't, Chuck Norris is missing, but...
No, but Chuck Norris would break the game. I know, it's 99 all of stats.
Yeah.
I think there's a dedicated Rambo mod, and there's also a mod, I think, that contains Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right, actually tell us a little bit more about your mod, like the Tons of Guns mod, because that's the one that we really want to show, because, again, it's so much new art introduced. That's why we felt it's like the perfect showcase for what an art-intensive mod can be. So how did it start, how it went, because I know that there were some funny things there.
It basically started with a sentence you said a few streams ago. Something along the lines, we didn't start it because we thought it was easy, something like that.
We don't do this because it is easy, but because we thought it's going to be easy.
Yeah, exactly. So I think this is exactly another case of this. So when I started, I thought, okay, I have done this, I have done that. Let's look at weapons. So can't be that hard, right? So it turns out it's pretty hard when you never worked with Blender, when you never did something like that for another game, then it's the curve is pretty steep in the beginning and very frustrating, because if you get finished products and they are bad, you still have a finished product and you can look at it and see, okay, this is the result of my work, of 5 hours of work. But in the beginning of this stuff, you get nothing out of it. If you get lucky, you get like glitched stuff that at least appears.
Yeah.
Most of the time for me, it was for a good couple of hours, nothing would appear. I would just probably use wrong bitrate for textures, add the wrong textures in the wrong fields and whatnot. So all this stuff is in the beginning very frustrating, because it prevents from getting your hands on this, even though bad result. So as soon as I got my first result, which was, I think, the Sturmgewehr 44, it's called in German, STG 44, very late Second World War assault rifle. That was the first model I got working, and that felt great. And from there on, I kept getting, on one side I kept getting faster, and also the results were getting better, and so it would make more fun, and so I would be incentivized to make more models, to become faster, to become better at it, and it would always make more fun, because the result was always a bit better than the last one, and I would learn something that I could then in the future apply to all the other new models. Like the very early models are very plain and basic. They don't have a lot of modability, and the little bit of modability they have is it's not looking that great. It's just to have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the later ones are really something.
Yeah, I think I learned a lot by now. So it starts with picking the right models and knowing what to look for and what not to look for. That's basically the model can look awesome in the previews, even in the render previews, where you can turn it like 360 degrees and everything on the website. So if you load it up in Blender and add the textures, then it's the first time it's looking different from the web page.
That's the story of not my life, but when we were actually making the weapons for Jag, it was the same. Like, it looks like something in Blender or the art editors or Marmoset or whatever you would use, and then it goes into the engine and it's like something different. And then someone changes shaders around, or someone changes the lighting model on different maps, and it looks very different. But eventually, when you go into a later stage of the project, all of those different factors settle down, and it becomes a lot more consistent and a lot easier. Like you said, you've gone through 15 models already, so you know what's going on there.
I think
you actually shared with me the full list that you wanted to make, and it was a big list. I don't think that it's needed for all of them, but
yeah, absolutely agree. It's the list contains way more weapons that I want to make, because it also contains a few weapons, a lot of weapons actually, that were not released in the year 2001. So I really don't have a good feeling adding those, because I feel like if I start adding those, then soon I add laser sabers and laser pistols, and then we have like teleporters, and then everything just becomes weird. So I rather keep it coherent.
It goes off the rails pretty fast.
Yeah, pretty fast. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you really need to pick your battles. What you want to do with your limited time, plus where you want in the long term to influence. Like you said, not to go into lightsaber
I mean, there's
territory.
no point in having like 8 varieties of the same rifle and all have a different model. You can have the 8 varieties, but it's very easy to use the same model and just use a different icon, for example, and change the values a bit. It doesn't require a new model every time. If we do that with like 250 weapons, then the mod would go like 40 gigs or something like that. So that's hilarious.
I think we use we use some optimization of the actual entities that go in the game. But still, like that's a lot of new models that should go in, and it takes a lot of space.
Yeah.
All right. So
as you mentioned it, I'm kind of happy about the compression that the HPK achieves with the DDS files. So that's really awesome. Once the file goes into the DDS and then in the HPK, the compression is really nice. Yeah.
I'll mention that to Asen.
Yeah.
I
think we've used this compression for a really long time now.
Well, if it works.
Yeah.
Successful things tend to stick around. So, in talking about it's probably good to vocalize what Haemimont Games' stance on modding is as well, because first of all, we believe in the role of modding. We've said that on stream before. We think that it adds a lot to the game, not only as an additional content that players make, but sometimes players have specific things that they want to see, and sometimes it's not the best thing for the game, for the wider public, like for the vanilla game. But if you provide the opportunity for someone to make the game more enjoyable for himself, and he's willing to do that, it's the best thing that can happen for both parties. And we encourage modders all the way, like go nuts, experiment. We add a lot of tools with the very simple disclaimer that we really don't have the resources for hand-holding or making really detailed documentation, because stuff is moving around all the time. Like even some of the editors are evolving all the time, because let's say we need something new for the next patch, either as a UI, as models, as any kind of support. So we really don't have the resources to be to troubleshoot every problem. But having said that, we try to be responsive to the community, and so far we're good.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of people communicate with Feyenoord and Anton in the Discord, and I really like that.
Even Asen is sometimes there and lending a hand, which is awesome. Yeah. So we're gonna continue doing it as long as we can, so that people can mod the game, and produce stuff that we've probably never thought of.
I love it. And this is an interesting question. When we release the full mod tools, and you can do new maps and new campaigns, are you interested in doing something with those?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure I can do it immediately if when you put it out, because I might still be occupied with tons of guns. So, but I will like the vest asset that I got my hands on. I will make sure that I know how it works, so I at least can help other people when they come and have questions. And I also know for me that as soon as I find time, or I really want to do it, I can do it and not get into all this trouble. Then okay, this doesn't work. I don't understand and whatnot. I solve all this stuff first, and then maybe I do one asset like the vest, for example, do one map. And just as an example, and then I probably will be occupied for another time, quite some time, with tons of guns, because if we got tons of guns, we also need tons of components, right? So
Thank God that some of the components don't actually appear visible on the models, because that would explode like all of the work. we had that issue with when we were making the 40 guns, and someone said, "Okay, we need something. We need this specific mod." And you're like, "No, we don't need to show that because it's like you add one mod. Okay, it's not on all 40 guns, but it's on 10 guns, and then you go like that would add 10 new things that we need to create.
Yeah.
You know, just like that. So being restrained." In picking your battles is key, I think.
Yeah, I was a bit out of that process, but I'm really happy I was.
Sure.
I know that it was a lot of hard work, and you had, I think you built new tools around how to add the mods and see them.
It's at some point it was like out of my hands. I was just handling the asset production.
Yeah.
But at some point, it was like, okay, we need to put them in the game. And like, yeah, we'll put them in the game. We're doing balance. And because there's a lot of stuff to be done on the whole game. And, you know, guns are important. But when you just have to assemble them in the game, it's a lower priority than okay, we need this really important, you know, feature of the game to be set in stone. So at some point, I was like, okay, you want me to, you know, actually assemble them, and then I got acquainted with the editor for modifications, and I was like, we do this not because it is hard, but because I thought it was easy.
Yeah, and I think we improved the editor at some point.
Yes, yeah, it's a lot better right now. Plus the whole thing that's in our editor is you can copy paste models, not models, but you know, different entities. Is a godsend because with a lot of entities and you know their options, if you have to manually go through all of them, it's just gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
And at some point, modifications, the effects, they were not in a different editor. They were somewhere in the whole mix, and it was hell. And I got the task of writing the descriptions, and we couldn't figure out what goes where and if everything is in order. And then we did the tools basically because to be a little bit more friendly.
It's a little bit better now, but yeah. All right.
I always start my mod when I add a new model. I always create a small mod. I create a new mod, so I don't pollute the main mod because, like you said, it's all the entities, it's all the materials, the texture sets. Then oftentimes double texture sets because same component uses same texture set, and then I haven't optimized the material file yet, and then if I wouldn't do this, I would my folder would explode. So I always do a small little mod so I can keep things tight and organized. Yeah,
it's like good case practices you pick up along the way and develop along the way. Yeah. Yeah, we can show some pictures from the mod with the weapons. Actually, you sent us a whole bunch of screenshots that we can share. Luo, can we switch over to the desktop?
Yeah, just like the photo mode too much.
Yeah. So let me know where should I start because there's a lot of the stuff to go here. Maybe the bloopers. Oh, the work process. Okay. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yay, we can hear him.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
So moving on.
Okay.
All right. This is a Blender scene of the Lee Enfield that I mentioned earlier that I was working a couple of days ago. And this is actually for what it is. It's a very simple, almost very basic rudimentary rifle. Just a piece of wood and a barrel mostly. So I recently started, I think like 20 models ago or so, I recently started to duplicate specific components to allow a larger variety. So barrel types, short barrel, long barrel, normal barrel, improved barrel, which by the way I still gotta add to Tons of Guns. I always do normal and long barrel because I know I can do the rest in one batch at a later point, and it doesn't matter too much. So it would be nice to have it now, but it doesn't hurt that much to not have it. So this is actually I can't see it right now. I think maybe 13 entities or something like that. 13 meshes.
There's a lot. There's a scope, barrels, magazines, and there's a lot of origins. So yeah, I'm guessing that you're gonna add a lot of modifications to this one.
Yeah, exactly. I just try to make things interesting with these weapons because the first weapons, they just were blobs. They just were bricks, solid bricks of one piece. Everything I would want to make would at that point cost me incredible amounts of time to separate the parts, because at that time I wasn't really able to handle Blender like that. Yeah. Now I am, and it's easier for me. I can do this with models that are worth it. But to be honest, the first package wasn't really worth it, and over time I will replace all the weapons of the first weapon package.
Nice.
So, yeah.
You've heard it here,
Maybe
folks.
we can go to the next screen. Yeah.
So yes,
this is just highlighted. Yeah, this is just highlighting the components. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That is the import, the final product actually, with all the components and the description and the values for the damage and whatnot, and also the production.
I like the small touch, made in England.
Yeah, I thought I have this flag mod. Why not put it to use there? And
I know you have a flag mod with all the nationalities. Yeah.
Yeah, it's when I started it seemed like totally almost useless. But over time, when this other guy wrote this nationality mod, and we started cooperating. And so I got this function into Multi-IMP, and then it started slowly becoming nice and having a purpose. And then when I started Tons of Guns, I thought, hey, why not use it again and give it another purpose?
Nice. All right, and this is the actual mod editor, where probably a lot of you have seen.
One of the small mods I start for each weapon model. Yeah. So I finish it in this screen. I import all the entities that I just exported in Blender, and after that I create the inventory item, the weapon itself. I change the ID so the editor stops complaining.
Yes.
And give it a name so I can distinguish it when I spawn it in a couple of minutes. Then I create these weapon components, and most of the time I just clone them from existing components, because I need these values in them, the parameter values and the all the stuff. I need it anyways.
Our editors are actually known for speaking up when something is wrong, because otherwise you need to go and hand check everything.
That's really nice. Yeah, helped me a lot of times. So yeah, after this is all done, before we go to the final product, usually it's time for the photo shooting. Sadly not with the photo mode, but it's not needed anyway, because I take isolated screenshots that your dev interface allows to take in a specific section of the menus. which is very nice. That made the work on the icons so much less work intense. Yeah. Because it's just a plain background, and you get an isolated view of the item. And then I need to adjust a couple of settings, scale them down, give them a backdrop shadow, and all stuff like that. And yeah, then we have a finished icon set, and it's actually the real items that are used in game, the real entities.
Kind of small for the stream, but you actually see them in the mod itself.
Yeah, if you would enlarge them, they would look horrible because of the pixel size anyway. So in game they look good, I think. Yeah, I personally feel. Yeah.
So we're getting ahead of time, but I want to really ask you this question that I'm going to ask you, but. Yeah. How will the introduction of Bobby Rays in 1.3 is going to impact like the Tons of Guns mods? Do you already think of what you're gonna do, or?
Yeah, totally. I can't wait for it, to be honest, because that's the gold solution in my eyes. Like I was hoping you would bring out Bobby Rays, and. But I didn't certainly knew it would happen, so I was just hoping it would happen, and this will be like a really immersive solution. I think the most immersive solution at this point possible, probably. So yeah, that will make my life not in terms of models easier, but it will make it a lot of more fun.
Yeah, in terms of distribution, it's going to be easier, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. Distribution, exactly, because right now we only have very rudimentary methods to access the weapons, and Bobby Rays is the best solution for this. So yeah, I was totally hyped.
Nice. All right, let's leave off with some bloopers. Let's see.
Oh yeah. Yeah, wrong scaling. That happens if you don't apply scale. Oh, this one is absolutely great. I almost lost it with this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we've had a lot of clipping anyway, so.
Yeah. And this is if you accidentally make a shotgun one-hand weapon, and then you realize,
I don't know.
This has something. I somehow like it.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this, but probably you're gonna get a lot of requests about this actually going in the game. Probably a lot of people are gonna like it. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, David, It's been a pleasure. Anything that you'd like to say to close off this conversation?
Oh yeah, I want to give a special shout out to some of my fellow modders, I would call them, and those are Audakira, Tobias, Chapi, Witzard, Ablomus, Rato, and 420 Bad Boy. So shout out to all of you, and also shout out to everyone that I didn't mention. I also have limited brain capacity. Sorry.
It's normal.
By the way, you can. This is the perfect moment if you have any requests for features or
actually
stuff. We can
I need to read one person, because otherwise I will get in trouble, I think. I want to say a special thanks to my wife and my son for being so understanding and giving me all this time to work on Jagged Alliance 3. So yeah.
Shout out also, from us to them as well.
Yeah.
Thanks to this. Thanks also to this old potato PC. Yeah, we should thank it.
Awesome.
Chad is right.
David, it's been a pleasure. Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Love to have you again sometimes, and wish you all the luck with Tons of Guns and whatever new mods that you want to try out and do. You have our full support, man.
Thank you guys. Was an awesome time to be here.
It was a pleasure for us though.
Yeah. Okay, now we're gonna go into a short break, and afterwards Lubo is going to continue with his Devs Play series. Where'd you leave it off last time?
We were in the middle of the fault. fighting, and things went very bad because for some reason I couldn't cut the chain link fence. And I was stuck with most of my markers already seen behind the fence, and it was things got hairy. And we'll see how I will continue from there. Yeah, and stay tuned because I'm going to go into really controversial topics today.
All right. See you in a bit, guys.
See you in a bit.